You're watching Weekend Sports Kickoff, brought to you by X106 and KNWT Channel 8.
It's the Weekend Sports Kickoff, only on X106.
How is everybody doing today? Devin Albertson along with side of Sean Nino and Trevor Mater today. No Creighton Elwood, trying to get this thing to stay put here. And Taylor Dameron has not been on the show for a while. We need to get him off the promo and get Trevor on here. Maybe by next semester we'll get Trevor on here on the promo.
Maybe that could be a summer project for us to get a new promo.
Well, I mean, yeah, it'll take like 10 minutes to do, guys, but
Exactly. Well,
gives us all reason to come down to Maryville and talk sports over the summer.
We'll give the production guys an assignment over the summer, tell them to get us a new promo because they do a great job here and we want it to sound professional. So,
well, and that's how sports guys are. We don't actually do any of it. We push it off to someone else. So.
We have opinions only.
Yeah.
All right, going to sports now. We'll talk about, first off, Bearcat Athletics. We're going to do this pretty much every one of the shows. We start out with Bearcat Athletics. Starting the show a little bit late today because of technical difficulties, but we're back here and ready to go. Softball, they are at Nebraska Kearney today for a doubleheader. They will be at Fort Hays tomorrow for a doubleheader. Baseball, they lost on Tuesday. They were on a 6-game winning streak before that. They did lose, but they are back on the road. Let's see, at Southwest Baptist this week. 2 o'clock today, 1 o'clock tomorrow. And they might have a doubleheader actually tomorrow, it looks like. So
softball has a doubleheader. Is it a Kearney tomorrow or is it?
Oh, sorry, my mistake. Southwest Baptist played yesterday and lost 4-7. Downland Baptist are playing a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series for this weekend. So they're trying to get back on the winning streak here.
Yeah,
Easter is going to play into that because Easter Sunday, and the softball team lost the first game of the doubleheader 1-3. And right now, as I speak, Southwest Baptist just tied up the game with the Bearcats. It's now 1-1 in the bottom of the first with a man on third and one out.
And that's what's happening right now in the active sports. Of course, women's tennis and men's tennis. You can look at their schedule online as well as track there on BearcatSports.com. But the biggest news that came out of Northwest was that, first of all, they got a transfer from Minnesota State Mankato. Was it Whitkus? I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's a 6'6" guard. He just shoots a bunch of threes. He's pretty efficient at three-point shooting. You know, we're missing a three-point shooter for next year's team, so just bring another guy who can shoot a bunch of threes who's 6'6". So no biggie for Northwest, just retooling.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a nice replacement for Zach Schneider. It's difficult shoes to fill in losing Zach Schneider, and who knows, if he'll be to the level that Zach Schneider was. But, another big stretch four type guy. I mean,
he plays a guard, though.
Yeah.
My guess is he might start next year, and my predicted starting lineup would probably be Pitts, Kurth, him at the 3, Endow at the 4, and then Doherty at the 5. Because Endow, he's 6'7", he played small forward last year, but he rebounded one of the best guys in the nation, so he can play pretty much 2 through 4. So he's a guy who's pretty versatile across that front line. And of course, Doherty at the center.
Yeah, looking at Joey Whitkus, he averaged 13.7 points a game, was the second leading scorer for Minnesota State Mankato. He shot 44%. He was a 37% three-point shooter. He's from Minnesota. So an interesting transfer, but, I mean, if you're going to transfer somewhere, why not transfer to a school that just won a national championship?
And he got a first-hand look at Northwest 2 years ago in the playoffs when Northwest beat him by 20, so he's probably like, hey, I want to play with that guy, Justin Pitts, and over there, and had an ability to transfer, so it kind of depends on if he can. I think he's going to be able to play this year because his D2 transfer rule is different than Division I, so he should get to play, and he should be a good addition to the team to help with depth a little bit there. You, of course, still have Ryan Welty, who I guess might start at that 4 and bring Whitkus off the bench. It kind of depends on what Coach Mack wants to do and who's ready to play defense.
And he's got 2 years of eligibility still left, being a sophomore. So
I like this guy as a guy who's going to help Northwest more in 2 years. After this core group of guys graduates with Pitts, Kurth, Endow, and Doherty, he'll be a guy that can help them after they leave and kind of help so there's not a big fall after they leave. That's kind of look at the guy, kind of a guy for the future.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting get for them, and we'll see what kind of role he plays going on in the next season.
I mean, it never hurts to have shooters, right, Sean?
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, if you have a team that can shoot, as we've seen, that's kind of where the game is, going towards. So I think it's a good
pioneer Zach Snyder.
Pretty much.
At least in this conference in the MIAA, he pioneered the stretch 4 and how versatile and useful it can be. Another thing in Bearcat basketball, Justin Pitts. He's pretty much received every award known to Division II. He was the MIAA Player of the Year, Basketball Times Player of the Year. He was the D2 Bulletin 2 Player of the Year, the NABC Player of the Year. He was the most outstanding player in the MIAA tournament, the regional tournament, and the Elite Eight. And now another award coming his way, the Bevo Francis Award. It's awarded to the best player in small college basketball. So he'll get that award Monday, 3:30 in the ballroom. So I know it's open to the public, so anybody who wants to go see it, they can, and have fun.
Yeah, I think the only award he hasn't won at this point is like the Nobel Peace Prize, and who knows, he could get that here soon.
There was one. It was the D2 CCA poll.
Who'd that go to?
It went to some kid from Shore who averaged like 30 points a game. His team didn't make the playoffs. They were in 500 team. It's not right.
Well,
it's a Justin Pitts with no help, so he had to score more points. That's what it was, but not as good, because.
Yeah, Pitts has racked up a ton of awards, and I mean, he's still got one more year left under his belt. I mean, he could end his career as, if not the greatest, one of the greatest Division II players in the history of Division II.
I mean, right now he's on pace to break the assist mark at Northwest, so he'll be the all-time leading scorer and assist man in Bearcat history. I think he's also on pace to finish second in three-pointer. He's already third in three-point shots made. He'll probably finish second. There's no way he's going to catch Zach Snyder, but he can finish there. I mean, last year he set Northwest single-season records in points, field goals made, field goals attempted, assists, and games played. He currently holds Northwest scoring record at 1,929 points with a year to go. I looked it up earlier in the season. He has a chance to become the second leading scorer in all-time in MIAA history. There's one guy who he has an off chance at catching, but it's going to take a Herculean effort, and I don't think that's what Northwest wants out of Pitts. They want him to be consistent, be good, have him lead to another national title possibly next year. So, and then quick recap on this award, the Bevo Francis Award, awarded to the player who had the finest overall season within college basketball. Bevo Francis actually played at Rio Grande College from 52 to 54, 2 seasons there on campus. There's only 38 male students enrolled in the school. His verge of bankruptcy, and then he went off. He went 39-0 his first year there, scored 1,954 points in a year, averaged 50 points a game. So this guy, he scored his leading game against Ashland College. He scored 116 points, including 55 points in the final 10 minutes of the game.
What kind of offense do they have to be running?
The Bevo Francis offense.
That's crazy. Yeah. I know there might be an NAIA school, maybe it's Division III, up in northern Iowa called Grinnell College.
Yeah, that's that one kid.
I think it was Jack Taylor a couple years ago, went for like 138 points, but you look at the amount of shots he took, those were like Kobe in his final game shot numbers. I don't remember how, it was like 80 shots or something. I don't remember off the top of my head, but they ran an up-tempo offense that allowed it. So I almost think 116 points is just too much, because if you're scoring 116 points, that probably means you weren't playing defense.
Really? So yeah, no one plays defense nowadays. But I want to thank people who are commenting in the our live stream on Facebook through KNWT. We are KZLX 106.7 FM in Maryville. Of course, KNWT Channel 8 also in Maryville, the TV station. I've got a couple comments on my post. Thank you, Mark Hendricks, for listening. Yes, I am wearing a LeBron jersey. It is Jersey Day here on X106, and thanks, Grandma. Thank you. Glad you're proud of me. So, yep, that's right now for Bearcat sports. Not a whole things going on, just baseball and softball. As going down to the home stretch of the school year. I mean, next week is the last week of full classes, then we have finals, and then we won't see you guys here on air until August. So that's going to be slightly depressing, but we'll be back again in August, as strong as ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with my summer.
I don't know, but just to give an update on the Bearcats, they're now down 4-1 in the bottom of the first. Southwest Baptist hit a 3-run home run. It's now going into the top of the second, but the Bearcats down to an early deficit, so we'll see if they can climb out of this.
We were going to call the game last week, and we had some technical difficulties, but I stayed there for the game on Saturday, and Hypus, he pitched to Jim, and of course, Canapeel pitched really well on Friday, so there's a really good pitching staff here for Northwest. I got the sweep last week versus Missouri Southern. They're struggling a bit this week, but trying to get things turned around today, as we're going to take a break here in a second, and we'll come back with some NBA talk here on KZLX. We'll be back here after a quick break on X106.
You're watching Weekend Sports Kickoff, brought to you by X106 and KNWT Channel 8.
How is everybody doing right now? Devin Albertson here for X106. Follow us on Twitter at X106_sports. We just tweeted out the link to the Facebook Live, and of course I shared it on my Facebook. Sean did as well, Trevor. We pretty much all shared it. So if you have any of us on social media, follow us there. You can also comment on the Facebook Live thing. I have a poll up right now for who your MVP would be here against in this current atmosphere of the NBA. As if you look here, I have a thing up for Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, and LeBron James. Currently the votes, it's early, but LeBron 3 votes, Harden 2, Westbrook 1, Kawhi 0. So that's current what it looks like for our likes there on the Facebook Live. Go there and vote. Put your vote in. I know who my MVP would be. But, Sean, we'll start with you. What do you think of the MVP race?
I think it's a really tight race. I think there's only going to be 4 guys who can actually win it. I don't think that'll be a surprise to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I think Westbrook's going to get it. I think that's what's going to happen.
I think, sadly, you're right.
And I think he would get my vote. But the other person that I would vote for would be Harden, and it's because of he has won over 50 games. And that's been one of the things that hasn't ever happened before is an MVP has never come from a team that has had less than 50 wins, and the Thunder finished with 47 on the year. So
that's definitely a big thing there with the MVP vote as we welcome in Tim Hanna. And if you look, of course, James Harden and the Rockets won 55 games this year. Before the season, Vegas actually picked with the over-under at 41.5 wins. It's a 500 ball club. They went out to the third seed in the West, 55 wins. The Thunder, I think they were at 45.5 wins. They got 47, so they still went over expectations if you look at it. But it looks like I would personally, if I had an MVP vote, which I don't because I'm a college student, I would take James Harden as my MVP just because 29-11 for him, eight more rebounds. The thing with Russell Westbrook that makes me so sometimes why does everybody keep talking about this? Triple doubles, yes, it's very impressive, but why do I care about rebounds for guards?
All right, Colin Cowherd.
Well, why do I care about them?
That's the Colin Cowherd argument.
Well, why would you care about rebounds for your guard when you have 3 7-footers who can already rebound?
No, I know. He's just I could say both sides. I agree with that. But at the same time, there's an aggressive rebound. Like, the way he rebounds is so aggressive that it does not matter technically for a point guard, but it doesn't hurt his team. Which I know he is kind of – you can argue that he's probably just a stat stuffer. Or, he's just – and a lot of people have said that before, that he's just maybe in it for the stats, and that's maybe why KD was so frustrated.
I can definitely see that because of some of the times the shots, why is Westbrook taking 5 more shots than Durant? That makes no sense. But it's just kind of one of those things. Yes, both these guys are having tremendous seasons. LeBron's having a really efficient season. He's not eye-popping numbers 30 points a game, but he's still averaging 26, 8, and 8, shooting about 55% from the field. That's never been done. It's crazy efficient. One thing that's going to hurt LeBron is, of course, the rest argument, which should also hurt Kawhi Leonard because Kawhi missed just as many games with rest/injuries in there. And he's not quite as the well-rounded player that LeBron is right now, which not a lot of players are. My thing is with Westbrook versus Harden, I look at, yes, the 42 triple-doubles are outstanding, but I'm looking at double-doubles between points and assists only, which I look at guards. Westbrook has 50, which is outstanding. Harden has 60, which is just flat-out amazing that 60 out of 80 games that he played, he had a double-double in points and assists. So I just think Harden, and I think I know everybody says, well, the rosters for Houston's a lot better. I think they're comparable. I think their rosters are pretty even. I know Houston has more shooters, but OKC has just as much talent. I don't know, just the way I look at it, because Houston's guys, none of them really play defense except for Beverly and really kind of Capella. Yeah. So he has to do more offensively to help them win, because if they don't score 115 points, they're probably going to lose. So I put a lot of, both guys are under severe stress to score for their team and get everything motivated because they are the lead guys. Harden has no former All-Stars on his team. Neither does OKC, but winning 55 games with no former All-Stars on your team or current All-Stars is extremely hard to do. So that's why I give Harden just a slight edge over Westbrook when it comes to those two.
I wish both of these guys didn't turn the ball over at such historic rates.
Yes, that's honestly one bad thing.
I don't have the stats in front of me, but I've seen them in the past that they're both going to set the record for it.
Assist to turnover, Westbrook's 1.9.
So that's not bad, but
I have 1.92, and then Harden's 1.95.
It's the average NBA point guard is 2.5 assists per compared to turnovers. So they're both under the average. The job of a point guard is technically to facilitate and not turn the ball over, and these guys are
literally turning it over
all the time.
Historic pace.
Yeah.
If you look at assist to turnover ratio, the best guy in the league technically is Andre Iguodala, but I'm going to go point guards. Chris Paul's the highest at 3.83, which is pretty outstanding there. He averages about 9 assists a game, turns the ball over about 2.5 times a game, which is pretty incredible. Ricky Rubio is also over 3.5. So a lot of these guys who are really high in assist turnover ratio aren't the scorers that these two are, so you kind of give that give and take. I know Harden had a triple-double the other day. The last real game he played, he also had a quadruple-double with 10 turnovers, which kind of puts a damper on things.
A quadruple-double.
I'm not quite the one you wanted there.
No.
With that. And another thing I kind of look at is if you look at each one of these teams, head-to-head between Houston and Thunder. And I'm going to say the rosters are comparable. I know some people are going to disagree with me like they did this morning on my other show. But if you look at the two rosters head-to-head, OKC is worse in every department besides defense, which Houston don't play much. They allow 109 points a game, OKC 105, but everything else is a slam dunk in Houston's direction, including wins in close games, which you atone a lot to star players. If you look at OKC, they're really good. They're still 9th in the league, 10-7 record. Houston's 8-3. This is the second best record in the NBA in close games. I think only behind Milwaukee. I think this is the highest team there with the Greek Freak over there. So I don't know. Houston, third best record in the league. No former All-Stars on their team. I know you look at Golden State, they have 4 All-Stars. You look at San Antonio, they have Kawhi. But LaMarcus Aldridge is still a really good player. He's a former All-Star. Pau Gasol, he's older age, but he's still really productive out there. So those guys still have a little bit extra help to get to those 50, 60 wins. I mean, Houston 55 wins with no former All-Stars. I'm going to give that a pretty good advantage with that one. Another guy that I am, of course, you're seeing Jersey Day. I'm wearing LeBron James. Who are you wearing?
I'm wearing the one and only Salvador Perez for the Royals.
I like the gold.
I know.
And then Tim's wearing
I just got a Jayhawk jersey, baseball jersey on. Honestly, I was going to wear my Steve Nash Santa Clara, but then it started to rain, and so I was like, I'm not going
I don't blame
sleeveless. So I
don't blame you.
on.
Another guy we haven't really talked about, the other two candidates who I think would be really strong candidates in this season if it wasn't for the historic season Westbrook had and the crazy season Harden had to elevate the Rockets with LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard. I mean, Kawhi is probably the best two-way player in the league right now.
Kawhi gets no love, man.
Because he plays in San Antonio. I mean, Tim Duncan was one of the best power forwards of all time, and he's just like an afterthought.
Kawhi just gets no. I mean, they're so good. You can literally just write the team off because, like, oh, look at your roster. Like,
why is Danny Green starting for you? It's like, yeah, he's a good shooter.
They're not a crazy good roster, but they're good enough. You know what I mean? They have enough former guys who are talented. They have LaMarcus Aldridge, of course. He's okay. Manu's still,
he's still chugging
with the left hand, man. Then Tony Parker's old man. I didn't realize Manu was 39. Holy crap! And Pau Gasol is 36. This is easily the oldest team in the league. Like, I knew that before, but wow.
Look at the age, like, whoa, that dude's old.
Yeah.
He's been around for so long, it's just kind of crazy. I saw the video the other day on Facebook, one of my friends shared, it was a Pau Gasol, his first bucket, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, just the career of Pau Gasol and how much he's changed over the years. So that was kind of crazy to see. He scored his 20,000th point the other day for the Spurs, so that was really interesting to see his progression as just his body type and his hairstyles and everything that's changed over the years.
And moving from team to team.
Yeah, so between Memphis to, I guess it was Vancouver at the time, I think, and then to L.A., and then he was at Chicago for a little bit there. He didn't reach milestones there, and then San Antonio. So he's been around a little bit there. And, of course, just heard today that Dirk Nowitzki is going to go for his 20th season with the Mavericks.
He's so old.
Why?
Like,
he's just a chugging.
Yeah,
I thought he'd be done.
Yeah, they don't really have a, much of an upside right now. It's pretty much Dirk and friends.
Dirk and friends.
I mean, it's kind of been that way.
That's how they won a title.
Good guys.
Well, okay, yeah, you're not actually wrong. It was like, oh, hey, it's Dirk and Berea. Nice.
And Jason Terry.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting group of guys there. Yeah. But this MVP talk, I had a lot more discussion this week and arguments with my cohorts on my other show with Luke and Jordan. And they were just Luke was kind of in between. He said he could go with either one. Jordan was full Westbrook, so I was on Harden's side there. So it was a pretty good debate there on Friday Take this morning. But, I mean, I won't be mad that Westbrook wins it because I understand why he's the favorite to win it. I just think James Harden's had a better season. Just if you look at overall team success plus his success with the stats in it too, I think that combined is going to give him the MVP. And people who are saying that Kawhi should finish third over LeBron, I don't understand that. I just don't get that. I mean, LeBron's averaging – if you're like, well, he didn't care the regular season. Well, he's averaging 26, 8, and 8 without caring. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I know people are like, well, he underachieved. He didn't get the one seed in the East. Honestly, why LeBron's not going to win MVP anymore because he doesn't really care that much about the MVP because we have told him through the media that, hey, regular season doesn't matter, win a title. So he's like, okay, I'm going to rest for the title. Now we're mad at him for resting. So it's like he's responding to what we do, and then we get mad at him again for responding to what we do. And it's kind of an endless cycle there.
Cycle right there, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he kind of really can't have it all at this point. It's like, oh, well, if I sit, yell at me, and if I don't go win the title, yell at me at that point. It's like,
well, even the one game he played versus Boston where they knocked their doors off, he played quite a few minutes. Like, why are you still playing? It's like, you just told him a week ago he should keep playing more. I don't understand. Like, they're just back and forth on him, trying to get him from each side. At that point, he can't do anything right. in the grand scheme of things when it comes to the media, especially when you have certain people like Skip Bayless just berate him on anything he does. I mean, he'll find any little thing wrong with LeBron. And I'll admit I'm a kind of LeBron defender because I appreciate greatness at times. So I know some people like, hey, you're just a LeBron homer. Like, sorry, I would have liked MJ back in the day if he would have been playing now. So it's not much difference there if you like watching great players. I know people like, he whines too much. Have you watched the Magic Johnson?
No.
Have you watched the Magic Johnson film? Ever?
No.
It's awful. He's fun to watch, but he complained all the time about the refs too. Like a lot.
Yeah, that's true. I would just say, like, I don't know, like LeBron just gets on everybody's nerves. Like, and they would say whining, not even whining to refs, whining to how about just getting more players. Like, we don't have enough talent on our team this year. And they went out and picked up, like, you're telling me they don't have enough talent with Kyrie and Kevin Love and just that. Those three alone, okay? That's
Should've
not
been the
enough
East,
talent
yes.
compared to,
I think
they didn't win the East.
I think what he's trying to say with the talent thing, he doesn't care about the East. He cares about Golden State and matching up with them. And he doesn't think they have the talent to beat Golden State because they got Kevin Durant. I think that was his biggest thing. His end game was, hey, I don't care about these guys, but we have to play the Spurs or the Warriors in the finals. We need guys who can go against those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, like, I don't think he was really worried about Boston or Toronto or even Washington. I think it's more about, hey, the Warriors, this is my legacy. If I lose again in the finals, it's going to look really bad. And for some reason, people think that if you lose in the Eastern Conference Finals, it's better than if you lost in the finals, which makes no sense in the rings argument. Let me turn your mic on there, Trevor. Trevor's back after his interview.
Yeah, it looks like Tim replaced me.
Yeah, I took your spot.
He's using my computer and stuff, too. I hope you know you're going to get a bill for my internet later.
Why? This is
That's
campus
okay.
internet.
Yeah, well, yeah, true. Yeah, I would rather lose in the finals because at least if you lose in the finals, you're probably losing to Golden State or San Antonio. One of those two. If you lose in the conference finals, you're losing to what? Boston, Washington, Toronto. None of those teams are outstanding by any means, and I don't know if you guys discussed this or not earlier, but LeBron didn't care about the 1 seed.
No,
I mean, if he wanted the 1 seed, he would have had it. They've shown we've kicked Boston's butt this year. We can do it at the Garden, whatever. So, I don't know.
I don't think he's afraid of going 7 games with Boston. I don't think he's going to go 7 games.
I'd be surprised if we go 6.
Yeah, I mean, it's a point where LeBron's just a lot better than anybody else in the East. And just look at the matchup with Boston. They have Jay Crowder to guard him. Jay Crowder is not going to be able to check LeBron for a 7-game series. Or the rookie Jaylen Brown. He's too small. I mean, they just don't have anybody who can guard him for 7 games. I mean, Avery Bradley's going to have his hands full with Kyrie alone, let alone going and try to guard LeBron or anything. LeBron's too big for Avery Bradley. I mean, just at this point where people are looking for a reason not to give it to LeBron. It happened to the same thing with MJ back in his day. They try to find a reason to give it to anybody but MJ when it comes to it. Hey, we'll give it to Karl Malone this year. We'll give it to Charles Barkley, who were great players, but they were not MJ. So they want to they're looking for reasons to give it to somebody else. This year was a little bit easier with the historic relevancy of Westbrook and Harden, but LeBron had a historical relevant season 2 with 26, 8, and 8 with 45.8% from the field.
Yeah, I think you can make the argument for. There's about 4 guys I think you can make a legitimate argument for.
Because you have Westbrook triple-double, Harden 55 wins on a mediocre team, in my opinion, talent-wise.
Oh, yeah.
LeBron's best player in the league, averaged 26, 8, and 8. And then Kawhi's the best two-way player in the league.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to...
You know, and I don't know, have you guys, unleashed your MVP votes yet? Or
I've got Harden.
Who's Sean got?
Westbrook, I think.
He's going with the sheep.
See,
He's a sheep.
I slept on it last night, and I tossed and turned thinking about it, and I think if I had to vote, I would go James Harden. Harden's had a really good year, and you can say, well, Westbrook's done a lot with little. Like we talked about the other day, though, so is Harden, and Harden won 55 games this year. Westbrook won 47.
8 games difference on a roster that I think is a 1 or 2 game difference between the two of them.
Yeah, no team has that team that Westbrook had is about a 45 to 48 win team, and that's what they got.
Yeah, I opened this argument with Vegas, who only thing Vegas cares about is money. That's all they care about is winning bets. They came out, OKC was a 45.5 over-under wins for the year. They got 47. OKC was 41.5. They won 55 games. That's outrageously off by Vegas, and they're never that off when it comes to games.
It's, James Harden was 2 rebounds shy of a triple-double, averaging triple-double. So it's not like he was averaging 5 rebounds a game or something like that. He was like 8.2 rebounds.
He leads the league in points accounted for per game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why he's my pick. I think And I feel like James Harden, Westbrook's a great player, but it's kind of like the MJ versus the Kobe versus LeBron effect. Kobe makes himself better, which makes the team better. Harden makes people around him better this year, which I think is the big difference between these two guys. That's why I just give a slight edge to Harden, and it's really close. Like, I'm not saying, well, Westbrook's a scrub. He's not a scrub.
No,
Kawhi's not a scrub.
None of these guys are like bad at this point.
I mean, Kawhi's not going to finish fourth because he's a scrub. Kawhi's a really good player. His stats just don't add up, as Cody Coleman said in our Facebook Live. His stats just don't add up when it comes to the other three guys. He's a great player, plays in a great system with San Antonio, and I like watching him play. He doesn't add up when it comes to the other guys who are in this MVP race. And the defense counts for like 25% of people's thinking when it comes to MVP, or else he might be ahead of Harden and Westbrook because they don't play much defense.
Yeah, I would, if the vote comes out tomorrow, which I know it comes out, the end of June? Is that what I heard it comes out?
Yes.
Was that new? Did they just...
I think so, which is dumb.
Yeah.
They should announce it now.
Yeah. Like, if it came out in June and they said, it's Westbrook, or it's Harden, or it's Kawhi, or it's LeBron, I will have zero problem either way, because you make a legitimate argument for any of them. I think the one that probably has the least argument is probably Kawhi. But, I mean, if they came out and said Kawhi, I'd go, oh, okay, makes sense. Or LeBron. I mean, LeBron's always the best player in the league. But, and I've had people say that Westbrook's the best player in the league because he's going to win MVP. No, MVP does not mean best player in the league.
No, it doesn't.
Was Matt Ryan the best player in football this year?
No, Aaron Rodgers was. But
Matt Ryan was maybe the third best quarterback. Maybe.
Yeah, and he had a better statistical season and had a good record than better record than Aaron Rodgers. And that's why he got Aaron Rodgers a better quarterback, but Matt Ryan had the better team, a little better stats, which is why he had it. So it's one of those arguments that is always kind of back and forth. It's kind of fun to have in sports media. Hey, thing is, this MVP talk's been going on since like December, so I think people kind of a little bit tired of it. Like, hey, to a boiling point, people are entrenched on their sides. Either way, I mean, honestly, LeBron should be the MVP every year, just like MJ should have been the MVP every year. And the argument was, we couldn't give it to MJ every year, so we can't give it to LeBron every year. That's dumb. Just because we did something stupid in the past, and we got to keep doing something stupid now. That's just a stupid argument, in my opinion.
And the only problem with giving it to LeBron every year, and you can make the argument that every year he should be the MVP, is
because if you look at LeBron, he is the most valuable player, because Cavs would be a 7 or 8 seed without him. In my opinion.
Eventually, they would kind of the MVP. If you gave it to LeBron every year, and I'm not saying this is right or wrong of why, but it would kind of lose its value.
Possibly.
And I have no problem if a guy that you didn't expect to have a really good season. If a guy like Paul George, good player, but if Paul George goes off next year,
averages 35,
averages 35, 9 and 7, and the Pacers win 60 games, Paul George can make an argument for MVP.
Yeah.
Or if the Bucks are a 2 seed next year, I think Giannis Antetokounmpo could make an argument to be MVP. I have no problem with giving it to a guy who might not be the best player in the league, but had a good year on a team you didn't really expect. You expect LeBron to be in the MVP race every year, but a lot of people also kind of expected Westbrook and Harden and Kawhi to be there too. So I don't really think they can mess this up unless they go like way out in right field.
I mean, it would take a lot to mess it up. And I was looking at the ESPN experts, as I like to call themselves. They voted for MVP. It was 18 votes for Westbrook, 4 for Harden, 4 for Kawhi, 1 for Steph Curry, and that was it.
No one voted for LeBron?
No.
See, that is surprising.
And one person voted for Curry over LeBron.
If I had to rank them, I would go Harden, Westbrook, LeBron, Kawhi. That's just me.
Yeah.
I mean, and I would take hard press to argue that. I think if LeBron finishes 4th in the MVP vote behind Kawhi again, I think that's why they might be coming out with these rankings, these releases after the playoffs, so they don't anger people. And the votes, I was listening to Kevin Harlan on another radio station today. Their votes were due at midnight last night.
Yeah, they're due. They're already in.
So they're it's 2.5 months before they're gonna announce it.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna have it not be announced till June 26th, then why don't you just wait till the end of the finals?
Because the regular season award.
So then why do you have to wait till the end of the...
I don't know.
You know?
See, what I would like them to do is announce it today. That way the playoffs start tomorrow, and you have either Harden or Westbrook angry they didn't get the MVP, and they're just going to go all out and try to prove everybody wrong. The other guy's going to try to prove that he earned the MVP. It'd be great theater.
So you mean like what they do for the Heisman Trophy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which they already like, hey, he's won it. Deshaun Watson's the MVP, or is the Heisman, whatever. And it's like, okay, go at him. And it's like, I think it makes more drama when it comes to the sport, which is always good for the NBA because everybody kind of knows who's going to be in the finals right now. So I think it'd bring more drama to any of these little series, which would be helpful for the league and help their ratings. I think they'll see that in the long run. They just want to be like, hey, we don't want to make people mad during the regular season. We want this to all be at the playoffs. Just have the little extra drama in there. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, what's it matter? I mean, because are we going to have this MVP debate for the next 2.5 months? I think eventually it'll get kind of tiring.
You never know. They like to talk about the same things over and over and over. Like, this is probably the last time we talk about it here on the show. Of course, we only have 2 weeks left, but I don't think this topic for most people are going to go on past this a little bit. They might bring it up like they did with Curry, like, hey, he's the MVP, without actually knowing that he's the MVP, or like MVP candidate Westbrook versus Harden.
Wasn't Steph the unanimous MVP last year?
That was dumb. He should have been the MVP. He should have been unanimous.
Yeah, that was pretty dumb.
I don't understand that at all but whatever. That's a story for last year that I'm just going to let go. Just going to let go, even though you got us run in the playoffs, and for good reason. So, you guys have anything else on MVP? Because I'm pretty much entrenched at Harden. I might actually put LeBron second my MVP vote just to spite Westbrook at this point. Maybe just to spite his fanboys at this point. Because I'm tired of the triple-double talk. Because it was a want-to thing instead of a need-to, in my opinion.
Don't get me wrong. That's, averaging a triple-double is impressive, but then you look at some of them and it's like, why is Russell Westbrook the only guy crushing the boards? Why is Russell Westbrook still in the game when they're up 23?
Why is he still there when they're down 23?
Yeah. Because he's got 34 points, 12 assists and 9 rebounds.
Yeah.
If Blake Bortles throws for 5,000 yards next year and 50 touchdowns, but the Jaguars are still 3-13, I don't care.
It's not important.
Yeah. Honestly, if he does that and they're still like 3-13,
I don't know.
I'm gonna be more impressed, but I don't know with what. Like there's not gonna be a like, oh, they're that bad, but he's putting up really good numbers. Something's going on there. Fire everyone.
Fire everybody. We're gonna take a break here because we've been talking about this MVP stuff for quite a while, but we will come back and we will talk about the All-NBA team and who are our selections for that here on on Weekend Sports Kickoff. Sorry, on KNWT, KZLX.
Wrong show.
It is the wrong show. You can find us on Twitter at X106_sports. We also shared our Facebook Live feed, which you can also find in KNWT. You can also listen live at KZLXFM.com. We're going to get you to the music and then back with the show, the All-NBA team here on X106.
You're watching Weekend Sports Kickoff, brought to you by X106 and KNWT Channel 8.
How is everybody doing today? Devin Albertson, along with Sean Nino and Trevor Mater here on the Weekend Sports Kickoff. And now we are going to the Eastern Conference playoffs, as we've been talking about All-NBA team and MVP votes, as this thing won't stay still here. Going back to our thing on Facebook Live, you could comment there. We also have put up likes for each candidate for MVP right now. Westbrook's leading with 5 votes, followed by LeBron and Harden both with 3, and Kawhi with 1 vote. So there's the voting right there. 5 of you guys are looking at the wrong person, but that's fine. It's fine. It's okay.
Opinions, man. Everyone has them sometimes.
They're wrong sometimes. It's fine. As that'll be it for the MVP talk for right now.
One quick thing. I'm going to start a poll on the X106 Twitter.
That's great. Follow us on Twitter at X106_sports. We're also on KNWT. We want to give a shout out to Tim Hannah for the whole year. But Joseph Andrews today behind the screens there between the Tower Yearbook and X106, all of our posters over there. He's the one doing all the graphic stuff. It looks great today, Joseph. I want to thank you a lot. We're on the Eastern Conference playoffs. We'll start with the first matchup, the 1-8 Celtics versus the Bulls. Just what do you guys think about this series with the Celtics getting the 1 seed, the Bulls sneaking into the playoffs on the last day?
I'm going to fill the spot of Creighton Elwood and go #TNT Bulls.
How many games do you have TNT?
So far, for the games they have scheduled, 3 out of the 4. Yeah.
Yikes.
I know this TNT Bulls thing is an absolute myth, but sometimes it isn't.
I mean,
at this point, it's so many. How many games in a row is it? Like 20-some?
Yeah, it's 20-some, and
they haven't lost. I mean, so originally I had Celtics in 6, but after careful consideration of the TNT Bulls, I have Celtics in 7. I'm just going to extend it to 1 game.
Oh, I thought you would totally change it and go Bulls in 7.
Bulls in 5. I'm kidding. I'm going Celtics in 7. I like how Chicago matches up with them. I just don't know if in a full 7-game series if they could beat Boston 4 times in a week and a half. Boston also, one thing to keep in mind with them, they haven't won a playoff series since 11-12 when they were in the Eastern Conference Finals versus Miami Heat and LeBron. They lost that series in 7, and they lost the next year in the first round. I can't remember. I think it might have been to LeBron again. I can't remember. They missed the playoffs, then they got swept by LeBron, and then they lost in 6 games last year to Atlanta. So they have not won a playoff series since Brad Stevens got back. He's 0-2. They're 0-4 overall. So that could be interesting to see how well they do there and how well Isaiah Thomas will play in the playoffs. I mean, undersized guards a little different in D2 than it is in the NBA. Trying to go up against the trees there. And if you look at the series, I think the best player on the court for every game is going to be Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
So I think that's what Boston's going to have to overcome this whole series, their whole playoffs, because they could play, say, the Bulls, and the next year they could play the Wizards. That's going to be John Wall's going to be the best player. No, yeah, John Wall, or play Paul Millsap. That's going to be a tough little matchup between them there. Or they could play LeBron. I mean, that's every matchup you have. It's who's the best player on the court. I don't know if it's Isaiah Thomas.
No, I have Celtics in 6. If there's an 8 seed that could upset a 1 seed, I think Boston's the 1 seed that could get upset. I think Chicago's at okay 8 seed, and plus, I mean, Fred Hoiberg. This is 2 former college coaches. How about that? We were just talking about how hard it is from transition over. I mean, they got their teams in the playoffs. Granted, they have a lot of good talent around them, but give me the Celtics over the Bulls in 6.
I'm looking up here for Vegas, what their odds are.
Joseph already put it on our graphic.
He did.
Man.
What is it? Okay,
7.5 points for Game 1 on Sunday.
Okay, Game 1. I was just kind of seeing what they had for over under like.
Oh, okay. You can go look that up too. Don't mind me.
I don't know. They have Bulls minus 460 to win the series. No, Celtics minus 460. Bulls plus 360.
I'm pretty sure the Celtics should definitely be favored in this matchup, and the Bulls kind of limped their way into this.
A little bit there, yeah, at the end. But it helped that Brooklyn sat their 6 best players, which I don't know what that really means.
Yeah, was it Jeremy Lin, Brooke Lopez, and
Hollis Jefferson?
Yeah.
That's just sad. Just your best
player. Karis LeVert is starting for them, I believe.
Yes, he is.
Pretty sad when that's your best players.
So, yeah, I can't find the odds for that. But as Joseph put on there, Celtics minus 7.5 this first game. It is on TNT, so I might take the under on that one. But I think the Celtics will win the series in 7 there. So I have Celtics in 7. You have Celtics in 6, Trevor, and you have Celtics in...
We're going to go Celtics in 6. I think
okay.
The Bulls can win twice on TNT, and then I think the streak is broken.
Broken. Unfortunately for all the Bulls fans out there, the streak will be broken. Possibly there for the TNT Bulls, and then they'll be like, "Well, in the regular season, we don't lose in it." Like, okay,
but
it'll just extend.
You need to win a title. I don't care about regular season stats.
All good streaks must come to an end. Kansas's home winning streak, Undertaker at WrestleMania. It's all good.
I'm cutting you off right there at wrestling. All right. Also, another thing is Dwayne Wade will be back probably for the series, and he had an injury to his elbow and nodular leg, so I think he could come back and be maybe an impact here. In the series, he has some playoff experience, so it could be interesting there. The next series, we have Cavs-Pacers, a 2-7 matchup. Paul George and company versus LeBron James and Kyrie Irving. What do you guys think about this series?
Lance Stevenson's with the Pacers again, right?
Yes, he is.
Can we get him to do his antics that he did a couple years ago? I think Indianapolis or Indiana could probably squeak away 1 game, maybe 2, but I don't think so. I'm going to say Cavs in 5.
What about you, Sean?
Yeah, Cavs in 5. I think Cleveland is the best team in the East, and they just don't care about the regular season.
Yeah, the Cavs are an 8.5-point favorite for Game 1, and it's going to be on ABC at 2 o'clock on Saturday, so that'd be an interesting thing for me to watch tomorrow afternoon, as I have the Cavs also in 5. I think Paul George and company will steal a game. I'm going to predict Game 3. I'll be specific on this.
Yeah,
and the Cavs will just have too much firepower. I think Paul George can will him to 1 victory. I don't know if he can beat LeBron 4 times in 7 games or even twice. So that'll be tough for the Pacers, and the Pacers don't really match up well besides Paul George with LeBron. The rest of the roster really didn't match up well. I like Miles Turner, but he hadn't done anything in the playoffs yet because of circumstances there in Indiana. But we're all pretty much agreeing. Cavs in 5. We're giving Paul George a little respect with that 1 win there in the first. I think this could be a lot like the Pistons series last year where all the games are competitive, but the Cavs come out on top. Yeah. So things to be similar to that. Also, neither of these teams play defense, so expect in the 120s to be fun. Interesting. Next one, the 3 seed Toronto Raptors versus the 6 seed Milwaukee Bucks. It's the Lowry DeRozan show versus Giannis Antetokounmpo. What do you guys got for this one?
I'm going upset. I'm going Bucks over Raptors in 7. I like Antetokounmpo. I think he's going to take over the series. Like we said earlier, Middleton playing well. Brogdon is solid. Give me the Bucks over the Raptors in 7.
What about you, Sean? He just took my notes, so whatever. He was in my emails, I swear.
Man, I think I'm going to take Toronto. I think, as you said, DeRozan, Lowry, going to be too much. but it's not gonna shock me if the Bucks win. But I'm gonna take the Raptors in 6.
Raptors in 6. So it can be interesting there. You both have the road team clinching the series in Game 6 for Toronto, and then is on the road to do. How do they do is it 2-2, 1-1-1?
Yeah.
Is
Okay,
it?
yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
why
it
I
is.
was thinking it was. Yeah, that. I guess that's about the. I like the way baseball does it.
Doesn't it
actually.
go for the finals to 2-3-2?
No, they switched it to 2-2, 1-1-1.
Yeah.
Okay.
It makes more sense because travel's not as big a deal anymore than it used to be. So
Yeah.
I like it. So
Well, and you have a day. Is it a day or 2 days?
it's
off
2
travel?
days off for road games if you go from like one to another. But it's
But they don't play
back
back
to
to back like games on consecutive days, do they?
no, like
That's what I thought.
Game 1 for like the finals would be on a Monday. Game 2 would be on a Wednesday. Game 3 would then be on a Saturday.
That's why it takes like 3 months for the playoffs to.
Yes, it does. It's
Yeah.
great. It's awesome. There's a lot to talk about for sports radio. I'm not gonna lie.
It's the only time I care about the NBA.
Well, that's your problem. I have the Bucks in 7. Since Trevor stole my notes, it's pretty much the same thing. I like the Bucks. They're young and athletic, which the young part really kind of scares me in this series because it takes seasoned talent to win the playoffs, which is why I think there's going to be one series win it and then they'll be done after the next series. I really like Lowry and DeRozan. Not really sold on anybody else on the team. I know they have Ibaka, but I'm not really sold on him as the third best option for that team with those 2 stars. I think he was great at OKC with behind Westbrook and Durant. But you got to do a little more with these 2. I don't think it's going to happen. Then, of course, you have Chris Middleton's playing well. And then, of course, Antetokounmpo, first player, the only NBA player this year to be top 20 in total points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals. He was 14th in points, 16th in rebounds, tied 18th in assists, 5th in blocks, 9th in steals. Plus, he's only 22 years old and 4th year in the league. So he's probably a shoe-in right now for most improved player in the NBA. So I really like the way he plays. I mean, he's a 6'11" freak who plays point guard half the time. I mean, he's a joy to watch. I think people are going to be able – I think not a lot of people know Milwaukee, the Bucks. Like, it's just the Bucks. We're playing Milwaukee. Wait till you see the Greek Freak play. He's a fun guy to watch. I mean, he's 6'11", can just fly. He does free-throw line dunks in games, let alone in a dunk contest. I mean, this guy is just a freak athlete.
His contract's going to be up at some point, isn't it? I mean, I don't know when.
Yes, at some point, yes.
But I would say there's probably no way he stays in Milwaukee.
Let's lock him up early. I think he likes playing Milwaukee.
Could we see like a Russell Westbrook, Giannis, and Antetokounmpo?
I think you're more likely to see a
the
Westbrook Davis thing than you
Yeah,
would.
maybe that too.
I mean, I'm not sure what his contract situation is right now.
I agreed to a 4-year contract earlier this season, so it'd be through the 2019 season.
So it'd be interesting to see. I mean, he's making $3 million this year. I'm sure that's going to be an increase after this contract.
I would imagine so.
Comes in to play since he's only 22 years old, 6'11", 222, and just freak. Was he like a 7'6" wingspan? I mean, this guy is just stretch man right now. I mean, he's just insane to watch. I mean, that last game of the regular season, he had that chase down blocked and spotted the ball from right at the rim all the way out of bounds to the sideline. So I think people are going to be able to see him actually on national TV more because it's Milwaukee. They don't get on national TV a whole lot, but they'll see him like, hey, this kid's good. So I think it's going to be fun to watch there with Milwaukee. Then the final game in the Eastern Conference, the Wizards and the Hawks. What do you guys think about this series between Atlanta and Washington?
Might be stretching a little bit here. I'm going to go Wizards in 6. Atlanta just doesn't wow me. I might be giving them a game too many.
All right, what about you, Sean?
I think with all my heart that Kelly Oubre, John Wall, Bradley Beal, Otto Porter Jr., and Markieff Morris will lead the Washington Wizards.
Okay, time out. So this is exactly what he did. He led with the Kansas guy, Kelly Oubre, and he finished with Markieff Morris, another Kansas guy.
Yeah.
You are insane.
I mean, yes, you're actually right about that. No, but I think Wizards is going to win.
Markieff's probably the 4th best player on that team.
I'll take it.
You got Wall, Beal, Gortat, and then Markieff. And then Oubre's like down the list, like 8 players down.
He's gotten better since when he decided to leave Kansas early. He should have stayed. He would have been a better player. But
yeah, I wasn't ever sold on him or McLemore coming out of Kansas. So
well, yeah.
And
yeah.
McLemore's defense, he went to Sacramento, but still.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what I got for this here in the Eastern Conference between the Wizards and the Hawks. I love the Wizards in the playoffs. I like the way they're set up with Wall and Beal on the outside. One of the best guard duos in the league, especially with Wall. It's attacking style, and Beal can shoot outside. Another guy who's from Missouri who didn't go to Missouri, University of Missouri. So kind of sad about that, but he's a really fun player to watch. And, of course, supporting cast with Martin Gortat, Otto Porter, another Missouri guy who went somewhere else, and then Markieff Morris. Washington did win the season series 3-1. The Hawks are just so inconsistent this year. They're up, they're down. Like this past week, they beat Boston and Cleveland twice. Then they'll lose to some mediocre team. I don't understand them all the way. I do like Millsap, Schroeder, their core, Hardaway, Howard. I think the Hawks. I think you said maybe a stretch they go 6. I think if they go 6, it's gonna be lucky for the Hawks. I think the Wizards are gonna roll through them.
Yeah.
I'm saying 6, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Wizards in 5.
Yeah, same here.
So in recap, I have the Celtics, Cavs, Bucks, and Wizards advancing to the second round. What do you got, Trevor?
I have Celtics, Wizards, Bucks, Cavs. So same thing.
Okay.
Celtics, Wizards.
So it'll be interesting to see how that works itself out, as we're going to take a break here and come back with the Western Conference Finals here on KNWT KZLX for the weekend sports kickoff. Follow us on Twitter at X106_sports.
Weekend Sports Kickoff is filmed in front of a live studio audience.